Hello and welcome to News Now. I am Deji Badimasi. The Nigerian government has withdrawn the forgery charges against the Senate President Bukola Saraki, his deputy Ike Ekweremadu, and two other National Assembly officials, Salisu Maikasua and Benedict Efeturi. At the resumed hearing of the case in the Federal High Court Abuja on Friday, the prosecutor explained that the charges against all four accused persons were withdrawn because a similar case was pending at another court. The application for the withdrawal of the charges was not opposed by any of the defense lawyers. Consequently, the trial judge Yusuf Halilu struck out the charges. The officials were accused of corruption, criminal conspiracy, and alleged forgery of Senate standing rules, among others. Now, following the decision to withdraw the charges, the two Senate leaders have commended the government for its courage. In a joint statement, the Senate leaders said the decision of the court was consistent with the position that the case lacked any merit. They maintained that the trial was politically induced, but commended the government for summoning the courage to halt the trial, adding that a continuation of the case would have amounted to a waste of time and resources. However, they appealed for the other politically motivated cases to also be terminated. The Nigerian Army says troops of Operation Lafia Dole have foiled an attempt by 3 female suicide bombers to attack a military location in Borno, northeast Nigeria. This was contained in a statement by the Army Acting Director of Public Relations, Colonel Sani Usman. Usman said the troops neutralized 2 of the female suicide bombers, while the third one was arrested while attempting to escape. Nigeria has been battling Islamist sect Boko Haram for about 7 years now. The group has killed more than 20,000 people and has displaced over 2.4 million others. The House of Representatives Committee investigating the alleged diversion of funds and materials meant for internally displaced persons says it is being frustrated by the refusal of some persons to appear before it. The committee particularly complained that the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachi Lawal, has refused to honor its invitation. The committee had invited Lawal to explain how his office spent about 12 billion naira allocated for IDPs. Now, but so far, the SGF has refused to appear before that committee. Members of the Joint Task Force in Nigeria's restive Niger Delta region say they have arrested 5 suspected militants in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. A statement from the task force said the troops attached to Operation Delta Save carried out the operation. The troops also foiled a kidnap attempt by the militants and rescued 2 persons. Operation Delta Save is a military scheme initiated to stop pipeline attacks in the Niger Delta region. The restive southern swamped region has been rocked by violence against oil and gas pipelines since the start of the year, reducing Nigeria's output by 700,000 barrels a day to 1.56 million barrels per day. The Nigerian government has insisted that the presidential amnesty program for former Niger Delta militants will end in 2017. This was disclosed by the special advisor to the president on Niger Delta affairs, Brigadier General Paul Burrow. Burrow, while addressing some ex-militants trained as electrical engineers, said that the amnesty program will not last forever, adding that it will come to an end in 2017. He commended President Muhammadu Buhari for extending the program and urged the other militants in the region to embrace the government's peace talks. President Buhari had, on assumption of office, approved a 2-year extension of the amnesty program till 2017. There have, however, been calls for further extension of the program, especially in the face of renewed attacks on oil and gas installations in the region by militants. The national chairman of the governing All Progressives Congress APC, John Odiji Oyegun, has formally replied the national leader of the party, Bola Tinubu, who had accused him of fraud. Tinubu had last week demanded the resignation of the party chairman, saying Oyegun was sabotaging the wheel of democracy. Now, Tinubu's comment came in the wake of a major dispute that followed the conduct of the party's primary in Ondo State in September. Talking about the governorship primary now, he accused Oyegun of sabotaging the wheel of democracy in Ondo State by overriding the decision of the appeal panel that asked for a fresh governorship primary following investigations that showed that the delegates list used for that process had been tampered with. However, Oyegun in his response described the allegations as reckless, adding that he will not resign. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has joined the rest of the world in marking the 2016 World Decent Work Day. During a protest march to commemorate the day, NLC President Ayuba Waba in Abuja said workers all over the world ought to unite against the abuse of workers' rights in workplaces. Waba also admitted that Nigerians were passing through difficult times and assured that the union would ensure the protection of workers' rights in the country.
We mark the World Decent Work Day. We will have to interrogate. The theme of this year's World Decent Work is End Corporate Greed. Because despite the fact that the world have witnessed an unprecedented accumulation of wealth, those workers that have created this wealth have remained in abject poverty. The condition of workers around the world is nothing to write home about. In the context of Nigerian situation, all of us are aware of the difficulty that the working class are passing through. Salaries are not paid as and when due, pensions are not paid as and when due, gratuities are not paid in some states for more than 15 years. And therefore it's a situation that warrants us to engage and continue to canvass for decent work. Issues of occupational health and safety have been brought to the background. Collective bargaining agreements have not been respected. The 18,000 minimum wage as of today is less than $38. It can no longer take us home. Those are issues that we need to canvass. And therefore, workers created this wealth. But at the end of the day, because of corporate greed, because the figures we have seen, we are individuals. Corporate organization misappropriated to themselves is something that is mind-boggling. And that's why the theme of this year's decent work is End Corporate Greed. Our political elites must end corporate greed. Corporations around the world must end corporate greed because there must be shared prosperity. Equality between the have and the have-not must continue to drive our process of development. So, comrades, these are issues that we are very passionate about. Issues that are related to the fact that the gains we have made in the past is gradually being eroded. In the past, we have taken it for granted that a laborer is worthy of his wages. That you are paid at the end of every 30 days is now not guaranteed. And therefore, it's a challenge to humanity all over. Poverty has continued to increase. And therefore, what we have today around the world is army of poor workers who cannot meet the demand of their families. They cannot send their children again to better schools. They cannot have a decent life. And therefore, comrades, it's a day that we must continue to canvass for issues that will improve the welfare and well-being of Nigerian workers in particular, but Nigerian citizens also in general.
The Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has reiterated his government's commitment to ensuring that the Badagry Deep Sea Port project is completed. He was speaking at a meeting with representatives of APM terminals to explain the progress of the project. Ambode said the project, upon completion, would create a friendly environment to encourage private sector participation in driving economic development in the state. The project will cost an estimated $2.3 billion and is expected to be the biggest in Africa with a land space of over 1,000 hectares. Well, we'll take a short break here and News Now will be back very shortly.
The Wole Soyinka Center for Investigative Journalism, WSCIJ, invites professional Nigerian journalists and team of journalists, full or part-time, with stories published between the 4th of October 2015 and the 3rd of October 2016 to submit entries for the 11th Wole Soyinka Award for Investigative Reporting. Award categories include print, radio, television, photo, online, and editorial cartoon. Submission deadline Monday 24th October 2016 by 4 p.m. All entries to be submitted at the WSCIJ office, number 18A, Abiodun Shobanjo Street, off Latif Jakonde Road, Agidingbi, Ikeja, Lagos. For more information, please visit WSCIJ.org or call 0908-251-5179. Investigative reporting is the vital force for the restoration of human dignity. One nation Yinka.
Welcome back. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, says it is prepared to lend money to Nigeria and other countries facing economic crises at a zero interest rate. Speaking at the ongoing annual meetings of the World Bank, the fund's managing director, Christine Lagarde, said the IMF board has approved the extension of the zero interest rate on all concessional facilities from 2016 to 2018. Lagarde also said the outlook for advanced economies remains subdued, while that for developing economies provided some guarded optimism with great diversities within the various economies. Now, oil fell nearly 2% on Friday as players took profit on the rally, which propelled prices to 4-month highs on hopes of OPEC crude output cuts. Brent crude was down to $51.62, while U.S. crude fell to $49.61 per barrel. OPEC leaders were expected to meet officials from oil-producing nations in Russia next week. However, Russian Energy Minister Alexander Novak dampened expectations on Friday, saying the talks will just be consultations. The death toll in Haiti as a result of Hurricane Matthew, the most powerful Caribbean storm in a decade, has soared to more than 400. The hurricane, now a Category 3 storm with sustained winds of 193 kilometers an hour, is heading up the coastline of the United States of America. That's Florida, to be precise. Hurricane Matthew has pounded the Bahamas after slicing through Haiti and Cuba. Most of the deaths in Haiti were in towns and fishing villages around the southern coast, with many killed by falling trees, flying debris, and swollen rivers. Non-governmental organizations said phone coverage and electricity were down and people were running out of food and water supply. Colombia's President Juan Manuel Santos has been awarded the 2016 Nobel Peace Prize. Santos received the prize for his efforts in ending the 50-year-old conflict between the Colombian government and FARC rebels. The announcement was made by the chair of the selection committee, Cassie Coleman 5, in Norway. Santos was picked out of 360 nominees. The Nobel Committee also gave recognition to the people of Colombia. To sports now, Super Eagles captain John Mikel Obi says he's confident of the team's chances in their coming World Cup, in their opening World Cup qualifier against Zambia. He was speaking at a press conference ahead of the game in Ndola. Mikel said he was ready to take charge of the team and ensure that the Eagles take all the maximum points available. He, however, acknowledged that the team had a huge task ahead of them, but maintained that they were ready to start on a winning note.
Since I took over the captaincy, I've always been ready. Every game, every camp we come, I'm always ready. I know the responsibility the country has put on my shoulder. There's no doubt about that. And it's no one that I'm right away from. I always try to do my best, but I think without these guys as well who support me, I don't think I can do it alone. So the players, we all play together at the pitch. Sometimes you need a voice that people listen to. And whenever there's something to be done, we all talk about it and we take a decision. So I'm not really shy of the responsibility. I'm ready for it. Like I did in the Olympics, like I've done previously. I will continue to carry this team and hopefully carry this team to the World Cup. We want to use this World Cup qualifiers to put things right. I don't think there's any pressure on the team or the players. Of course, there's always pressure when you play football. You want to win, and I think it's the pressure that we all have. And I don't think we all sit here and try to put so much pressure on the players, then they won't perform. I think we have to go out there and make sure we want to win the game and play well and enjoy the game. I think by doing this, I think the players can play better and express themselves better. So, but with the aim of wanting to win the game, and that's exactly what we want to do. We want to qualify for the World Cup. There's no doubt about it. We have to.
Now also speaking at the press conference was the team's coach, Gernot Rohr, and Arsenal winger Alex Iwobi. Rohr admitted that the Eagles faced a tough challenge in Zambia, but insisted that the team's individual quality would be the difference between both sides. He said the playing tough would be a challenge for the Eagles, but urged his team to maintain an attitude for victory.
It's a very big challenge for us, exciting challenge to be the first one to do it. Yes. You know? So it's a big challenge for everybody, exciting challenge. Let's start with a big game. I think we can do it. I cannot say we will do it because they also have a good team and we must respect them. But I think everybody who's here, who's working well all week long, wants to do it. The pitch is what we've seen in Kenya game, because we had a look on this game. It was the last game. We had the draw. They didn't play so well because the pitch was not good. We must be able to play well on the bad pitch. We are professionals. It can arrive. You can have, you know, in Africa, a bad pitch. So it's not a new experience for them. They know it. But we must be careful on the control of the ball. Our game is one touch will be difficult. So we must control the more ball and play quickly either. But I think our team is able, you show it, you've seen it in Uyo, was not so good pitch too. They played well. So we want to play, it's not changing the style of playing, long balls, kick and rush because it's a bad pitch. No, we want to play even when it's a bad pitch.
Now, Iwobi, on his part, expressed delight at the opportunity to represent the national team in a World Cup qualifier. He said the Eagles were ready to give their all to ensure victory against the Zambians.
We have a lot of talent going forward for the country. We had a lot of chances against Tanzania, and probably on another day, the chances may have gone in, we never know. I guess I'm just another player that I'm a forward player, I'm a forward-thinking player. I'm sure, like everyone else, every attacker, even defenders, that we try to score our goals, we try to do our best for the team. And like the other attackers, I'm always going to do my best for the team, and hopefully against Zambia we can get as many goals as we can.
Well, we wish the boys success. Now, Nigeria Professional Football League side Heartland Football Club says it will file an appeal against the decision of the league management company which demoted the team to the second division. The Were-based side was relegated to the Nigerian National League after the LMC deducted 3 points for abandoning their fixture against Plateau United on the final day. Victory for the club would have ensured their safety and relegated Lagos-based side MFM. The LMC decision, however, placed Heartland on 18th place on the Nigerian Professional League table with 44 points from 36 matches. Now, the club says it will appeal that decision. Spanish prosecutors have demanded that Neymar, his father Neymar Sr. and his club Barcelona face charges for fraud. The allegations relate to the issue concerning the original amount Barcelona paid for Neymar during his transfer from Santos in 2013. The prosecutors are accusing the striker, his father, Barcelona's ex-president Sandro Rosell, and the club itself of concealing the cost of the multi-million euro transfer from Brazilian investment fund DIS. It had lost a request to try the case in July after a Spanish judge dismissed the case, but the prosecutors in a fresh statement Friday demanded that the court reopens the case. I was going to say multi-million naira. Now we're talking about euro, not naira. Well, that's it on News Now. We thank you very much for watching. Continue to stay tuned to TV360.